I'm laughing because there's only a tail. Where's my golden conure? I had a great question, which was, did I quarantine Bonnie Rose, who is coming out of my head? I've got my Halloween costume down. Hi, I'm Kaylin, the author of the Parrot Bliss Bond. Where's my book? Oh, here's my book. Please be sure to get your copy on Amazon so that you have your handbook, so you know everything that you need to provide a quality life for your parrot so that you can then have quantities of bliss. The handbook is now available as an ebook or a softcover. So, did I quarantine Bonnie? First, what does it mean to quarantine and why do people do it? So, to quarantine a parrot means you already have a bird at home, and just to make sure that the new bird doesn't have anything that's going to be contagious, any diseases or anything, a lot of people will quarantine for, that's a variation of days, weeks kind of thing. Just to make sure, you know, that that new parrot doesn't have anything, and so they keep them separate. To properly quarantine, according to my veterinarians, you have to actually put your parrot who has, how do I get my parrot back in the video? Hi, sweetie, what you doing? To properly quarantine your parrot, one of the things that you really need to do is you need to make sure that they are A, in separate rooms or buildings, and B, in separate air systems. In other words, for example, in my house, the air conditioning just moves the air around kind of thing throughout all the houses. It runs through a filter, but it's not a filter that's going to necessarily get rid of diseases. So if you have no other choice like me, then you either have to do something like quarantine by putting a parrot in the front lanai so that they are outside of the house, or you can do a separate room. It's not a full real quarantine because the air system is still the same. How long do you quarantine for? It depends on who you ask or what website you look at. I've seen anything from like a month to 6 months. And I think usually it's more like a month to 3 months. And 90 days is a long time. I hate it because the new parrot is by themselves. And usually I have one at home and I want to put them together. So my other parrot's by themselves. But it is what it is, and you don't want a sick bird. What are people quarantining from? They are quarantining against some nasty bird diseases. And I'll tell you about those in 1 second. I'm going to now interrupt myself real quick and say thank you for watching the ads. They help me support my flock and they help me keep bringing you videos. So I really appreciate that. Also, make sure you get your Tinks must-have parrot relief. It is CBD, and I misspoke in a previous video. CBD, they turn into a powder. It's not going to like give your parrot psychotropic experiences. Your parrot's not going to trip. It's just going to help them either relax, get in some sort of balance, or it can help support strengthening their immune system. So it's actually a really good thing, but CBD, the powder can be put in water, it can be put in an oil. So ours, for example, is put in hemp oil because hemp oil has the correct balance of omegas. And when my Amazon was really sick and my vet thought she was a goner, one of the things that she gave me was an oil to give her that was the proper balance of omegas. And I'm like, hemp oil already has that. Why am I paying for this? Because of course from the vet it costs more. So anyway, my point is that makes this double beneficial for your parrot. Now, back to what are people quarantining from? There are a couple different diseases. There's some that they catch that's like not a big deal, like I'm going to say it wrong. I'm not going to say it because now I can't remember how to say it. It's, I can't remember. Because I'm looking at the certificate that she came with, and so I read it and then it threw my brain, and now I can't remember because it sounds similar. But I'm going to tell you about two that are like some of the worst. PDD, which is cytosine. It starts with a P. Cytosine disease. Well, oh my goodness, I know this. Although that says, avian bonavirus, because it comes from avian bonavirus. I'm going to pause and remember. Okay, I got it, and it's just because I want to say it correctly for you. So PDD is Proventricular dilation disease, and it is, as I understand it, a virus that goes into their, basically kind of like their stomach. Their proventricular, to me, is like their stomach. And dilation means it gets smaller, right? And they get weak, and it's just a death sentence. Cytosine beak and feather disease, and by the way, so that's generally described as PDD. It's short for proventricular dilation disease. Then we've got PBFD, which is cytosine beak and feather disease, and it has been described kind of like AIDS for birds. It is also a slow, maybe not necessarily slow, but debilitating death. Terrible, terrible things. So that is some of what some places may be testing for. Bonnie was tested for 4 things. She was tested for those 4. She was also tested for avian polynoma and chlamydophila, which I think is basically chlamydia, and it is something that you can get from your parrot. Generally speaking, there's very little that your parrot can spread to you, because since they're birds and we're humans, it's like a different set of bacteria and viruses affect them than us. However, there are a few exceptions, so this is one of the exceptions. So she came with these tests, and she's negative, as in she doesn't have any of them, and that made me feel good. The other thing is, ironically, I had found out, they had told me back in December that she had come in, that they had a new female baby, because I had originally been looking for a female for Binks, but at the time I was like, you know what, after Orabella, I don't want to. You know, I'm just not in a place. So I actually know where she's been for the 6-7 months, and I know how they take care of birds in there. And I don't think I have seen any other pet store that tests for so many things. So because golden conures or Queen of Bavaria conures are more delicate than most parrots, they're pretty susceptible, which means that unless something had just recently come into the store, in a way she's been quarantined for the whole time, plus she was tested. That's why I didn't worry. I know the source, I know the history. I was like, my chances here are really low. I feel pretty comfortable with these odds, kind of thing. Otherwise, when I need to quarantine, I do it by putting my parrots outside the front door, because that area is enclosed. We have a lanai out front. It's not my favorite. I put birds out there in their cages during the day so that they get some air and sunshine, and I just rotate who goes out, and I bring everyone in at night or when I'm not home and I can't keep an eye on them, and of course we have a camera on them, you know, that kind of thing. But I also use it and will leave them if I have to when I'm quarantined. Not a fun topic, but I think an important one, because if you love your parrot and you get another parrot, unless you're really comfortable with the source, you just would hate to bring something home. It seems like some of those diseases, you know, I think it's torture for the bird. Your avian vet might be able to put your parrot to sleep like you would do with a dog, to put them down so that they don't suffer. But and I think that would be good, right? Because then you don't see them suffering and they're not suffering. And like, why put you both through the torture? But anyway, I think the best thing to do is just avoid it altogether. The most significant thing I'm going to tell you is that one of my avian vets who actually, I know in her clinic, there's an old newspaper clipping that's been preserved where she was acknowledged because she helped, I think, identify part of beak and feather disease for the birds. So she like knows this disease. And she said that PDD, the other one, was all but gone, and now she's starting to see it coming back. So I think that at this time, 2021, it's really important to kind of really be aware. If you're adding a new member to your flock, be aware of that. Do the quarantining. I will also quarantine until I test, because like that's still not 100%, right? Because from when a parrot may get exposed to a disease and then I test, like there's that incubation period. But if I do a test and it comes back and they're clean, they're negative, they don't have the disease, generally speaking, like that makes me feel a lot more confident, because that quarantine time is still like gray, you don't know, but like all the time before that, I know that they weren't exposed, or that kind of thing. So things that you should know about. Now, doing a test, you could take your parrot to your avian vet if you wanted to test for any reason, but if you've had your parrot for a while and they're fine and they're healthy, chances are you're perfectly fine. It's more like if you're adding a parrot and you want to make sure that you're not bringing any diseases into your home. You can go to your vet and they can do the test, or depending on the test, there are several you can do, and you just do it online. And what you do is you get a sample of sometimes a feather, sometimes blood, and you send it in, and then the labs will let you know. They'll give you a response. It's a process that, depending, from when they receive the sample, it can be a couple of days to a week to 2 weeks, depending on the lab and the test being done. And you might be like, that sounds really intimidating. I think it was. I was really intimidated, but I learned how to do it. And getting a blood sample sucks. I don't like it. That to get a blood sample, generally speaking, you're going to basically work on clipping their nail just enough so that they bleed just enough, and you end up taking a piece of paper and you have to get the blood, like get enough blood on the paper so that so that they have enough to test. When you're ordering the test online, they usually have a page you can download that has the little circle, and then you just, on a white piece of paper, you can put the blood sample on there, and then you put it like in a Ziploc bag so it doesn't get contaminated, kind of thing. But it is, I think that the part that's intimidating is kind of like figuring that out, although I just told you about it, so hopefully it's a little less intimidating if that's something that you feel you need to do. And getting a little bit of blood, not too much. If you clip too much, if you clip, their nails are like ours. The only difference is you could see our white part, right? And so you have to clip like just enough to get them to bleed a little. Not so little that like it doesn't come onto the paper a whole lot. I've had that happen to me. And you wouldn't want to clip so much that they're going to bleed to death. And they can bleed to death. So it's like a little nerve-wracking. But you can also do things like, if you're going to run the test yourself, because it tends to be more economical, you can take your parrot to a groomer and have them do it. If they don't know how to do it, they shouldn't be a groomer. I mean, a groomer should know how to really do the right amount so it's not too much. They have their special stuff to get the nail to stop bleeding, and they should be able to get the sample of blood on there for you without any problem at all whatsoever. Like I said, then it goes straight into a Ziploc, you label the Ziploc, you send it in, that kind of thing. So that is why I did not quarantine her. Also, I've talked about this before, but when you get a new parrot, she's not going to want to step up. Tico was just like, he's trying to befriend her, he's being a little too overbearing, and so she's a little freaked out. When I get a new bird, and same with Bonnie, I look at their nares, which is their nose, make sure that it's just like a child, make sure there's no mucus, like a kid in kindergarten. You make sure that they're not snotty. Make sure that the eyes aren't watery. Normal, healthy humans and parrots have eyes that are normal, no their nose is normal, their beak is normal, and under their tail is normal. So if you want to see a little more on that, check out my video on how to, and I'll try to put a link in, but on how to look at a parrot when you're in a parrot store or something like that. There are things that you can kind of easily see. You should also do a little more and look at their wings and that kind of thing, but there are things you can easily see so that you can kind of size up, do they look good, do they not look good? So with the fact that she looks good, they told me what her diet was, they told me what they were feeding her, that helped. She clearly is accustomed to vegetables because she's eating vegetables at home here for me. She's clearly accustomed to pellets because she's eating pellets. She's clearly accustomed to some of the nuts that she's supposed to be eating. So it's like they did a great job. Their store's very clean. They did the testing. I know where she's been. All of these things were a recipe for I'm going to feel pretty comfortable here. I think I'm okay. I don't think I have to quarantine. So that's the story, but really weigh whether or not you quarantine. Talk to your avian vet about it. Take your bird to the avian vet so that you at least do an initial gram stain, maybe a culture, and make sure that your parrot doesn't have anything. For one thing, it's a good thing to do because it'll cost you, oh, I don't know, 100, 150, maybe 200, but this is your way of making sure that you have a nice, happy, healthy parrot. Because if there's anything like really obvious, your vet's going to notice where you may not. But also, if there is something and you have to get medicine, that kind of thing, then most stores, when you take your bird, I mean, find out about this beforehand, but most stores will reimburse you, or they'll do something, they'll do something, and they'll work with you, generally speaking, or at least it's worth finding out and trying for that. So I think it's really good because it's preventative, and that way you don't bond with the bird and then have them get really sick on you, which would be, gosh, just the worst. Thank you for joining me in this video. That wasn't as much fun. I like to do my videos. They're a lot of fun, but I think this was a really important video. So keep your parrot happy, healthy, safe, because a healthy parrot is one that you can bond with. An unhealthy parrot is grumpy, unhappy, bitey, just like humans, and not friendly. And because they're not feeling good. So keep your parrot feeling good so that you can both have a loving, blissful bond. If you have any questions about parrots, please be sure to post or comment below. I love hearing about what parrot you're thinking about, what you're doing. Join our group, Parrot Bliss Flock, on Facebook. Post pictures of your parrots. No one is posting pictures right now. I love seeing pictures. It's not true, it's not no one, but I love seeing pictures. I can't get enough. I just can't get enough. So I do love, love, love it. Or you can post on the Facebook, Instagram. Visit parrotbliss.com. You can post comments there or get your Tinks Must Have CBD oil. Thank you, and I will catch you next time.